new.
You may remember the 22-year-old soldier, Private First Class Bradley Manning.
Private Manning is suspected of sharing secret documents with the whistleblowing website WikiLeaks.
Alleged to have been one of our sources for a video which exposed the killing of two Reuters journalists in Baghdad.
Come on, fire!
Manning has been held in the Marine Brig at Quantico, Virginia, under conditions which drew criticism even from the State Department's top spokesman.
Manning has reportedly been forced to stay in a cell in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day. He's asked every 5 minutes if he's okay, and he must answer, so that doesn't allow him to sleep. And most recent reports say that he's also been forced to strip naked.
Hey, Bradley Manning! Hey, Bradley Manning!
Krzyzewski's breaking the news tonight that the Pentagon, under intense pressure, is giving in. It's moving Bradley Manning, the Army private suspected.
We decided that the new Joint Regional Correctional Facility at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, is the most appropriate facility for Private Manning.
Century, information is power. The truth cannot be hidden, and the legitimacy of governments will ultimately depend on active and informed citizens. That powerful quote is actually from President Obama's Moment of Opportunity speech given May 19th of this year. That's 2 weeks ago.
We got over 200 folks here. We're from all over this country. It's awesome. People have driven hours. People have driven up to a day to be here. Others of us, like myself, we've flown into Kansas City, from Washington, D.C., New York City, from Oakland, California.
So essentially we are out here today to support Bradley Manning and a call for his release.
Bradley Manning sits in the Midwest Joint Regional Correctional Facility, a guest of a lieutenant colonel ironically named Hilton, though his room doesn't come with a jacuzzi tub, I gather. Bradley Manning is in prison right now, today, charged with sharing secret information that the military never wanted you to know. President Obama says, and I quote, "He broke the law." I believe Bradley Manning may have obeyed the law that requires him to expose the crimes perpetrated in the name of the American people, against our Constitution, against our laws, against the laws of war, against the treaties regarding the treatment of prisoners, and against many other treaties about war crimes to which this nation is a party. Why would he do that? And so we're asked to believe by the military that Bradley Manning released tens of thousands of documents to WikiLeaks, including, we are asked to believe, the collateral murder video. But we have rules in this country, rules for due process. We have a rule for a speedy and public trial. Has Bradley Manning received a trial? No! We're asked to believe that his own words to snitch Adrian Lamo indicted him, but at no time shall any person be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The Commander-in-Chief has used command influence to deny Manning this right. Is his jury going to be in the district wherein the crime shall have been committed? No. Is he going to have the opportunity to confront the witnesses against him? No. They are going to invoke national security to hide the evidence from his defense team. Will he have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor to show that he was, perhaps, exposing criminal activities and therefore not guilty of any crime? No. His defense counsel has already suggested that his treatment at Quantico may be grounds for a habeas corpus writ to release him. Why? It says excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. And at Quantico, they were torturing him. Punishment before conviction, just like the Red Queen said. These are not the actions of a government suited to a free people. These are acts of tyranny. And if we're to have freedom, We have to stand up for it. Not only for ourselves individually, but for one another. So today, and every day until he is free, I am Bradley Manning.
Well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Well, I used to be young, I used to be free, but now I'm a lean, mean, killing machine. Well, I used to drive a Chevrolet, well, and now I'm a killing every day. Oh, well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Oh, well, if I die on a combat zone, you box me up and you ship me home. Oh, well, I pin my medals on my chest, and you tell my mama I did my best. Well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Well, Bradley Manning, he did his thing, and Uncle Sam said, you come with me. Oh, well, I'm gonna lock you in a cell for an innocent game of show and tell. Oh, well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Oh, well, mama, mama, can't you see what my uncles have done to me? Jump. Thank you all.
I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18, realized I was a conscience objector during the first Gulf War, and found myself in prison very quickly thereafter. And it's because I had an awesome civilian defense attorney, and I had the support of the community around the military base. Instead of going to jail for 2 or 3 years, I was discharged, and I was out of the Marine Corps after doing it just a few months in the stockade. That's what inspires me to do this work for Bradley. When Bradley was first arrested in Iraq in late May of 2010, quickly transferred to Kuwait, we did everything we can to ensure Bradley got a simple message that he did not have to rely on on the military-appointed JAG defense team. But Bradley is facing the death penalty. People don't know that. But he is facing intent, aiding the enemy through indirect means, a capital offense. He is facing today the death penalty. The military is playing that down by saying the military prosecutors are not recommending the death penalty at this time. We cannot just take the military at their word that today they're recommending that he won't be put to death, and tomorrow they may change their mind. The final decision on that matter lays with the convening authority of the Army in the Metro DC area. He could take that recommendation, throw it out the window, and go to court-martial with that capital offense on the table. We've been at this for a year now. Bradley has been in incarceration for an entire year, has not been formally arraigned on any charges. He has been held in solitary confinement in Kuwait, in Quantico, Virginia. He has been forced to remain nude, ritualistically standing completely naked in the hallways during morning and evening head counts at times. He's been subjected to prevention of injury, which was an excuse for the Marine Corps to basically extract as much punishment out of him as they could during this process. And the point was to convince Bradley to cooperate with the prosecutors. Bradley has made no comments to prosecutors regarding his guilt or innocence in this case, and we're going into the legal proceedings with the government having to prove the case against him. And that's not going to be, it's not as easy as some people think it's going to be. It took a hell of a lot of work to end the torturous conditions, and that's going to give us some idea of how much work it's going to take to finally free Bradley. I think it's possible. I wouldn't do this work if I didn't think this is a doable thing. I personally believe that Bradley will be free sooner than later with our support, but it's going to take a movement like nothing we've seen since Vietnam in support of a political prisoner to make that happen. But I'm actually confident we can do it, and I appreciate you coming out here and being part of that movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Melanie. I'm from CODEPINK in New York City, and I'm the campaign organizer for CODEPINK's Truth Set Free campaign, which is dedicated to protecting whistleblowers and folks who have the courage to speak out against injustice. And as we all know, if Brad did what he's accused of doing, he is a first-class whistleblower who needs our protection. He should be protected under the Military Whistleblowers Protection Act, and he's a true American war hero in the truest sense. Woo! And it's an honor for me to be able to be here today to speak out on behalf of Bradley, just as he, when he was free, spoke out on all of our behalf, and to help make this country safer and more peaceful. And it's an honor for me to stand with folks from all across the country who've come here to do the same, to speak out for Bradley, because he is no longer free and can't speak for himself. So thank you so much for being here.
So I'd like to, in true CODEPINK fashion, we'd like to sing a song to you. So World War II era veteran Sally Alice Thompson will lead us in a song. Sally? Woo! And some of you have your song sheet.
And Sally wrote this song. Woo! This is for Sally.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, let's go.
Let us now sing a song for Bradley Manning, a courageous young patriot he. If exposing the war crimes of empire, he is helping to preserve democracy. We must all stand tall for Bradley Manning and demand that our hero be freed. He kept his word to defend the Constitution. He's the kind of man that our country needs.
Everybody!
Let us now sing a song for Bradley Manning, a courageous young patriot he. By exposing the war crimes of empire, he is helping to preserve democracy. We must all stand tall for Bradley Manning and demand that our hero be free. He kept his word to defend the Constitution.
What kind of man is he?
He's the kind